Good morning, students. I hope you all are fine. Student, we will be going ahead with our next lesson in geography, that is lesson number 7, soils. So, student, before we go ahead, let's start our lesson with the introduction first. So, what do you mean by soil? Soil means mitti. Okay. So, student, as we know, we see many trees and plants all around. Yes, what do these plants and trees need for the growth? Yes, okay. So, they need water, sunlight, nutrition. Also, they need the sunlight for photosynthesis, for which they make food. Yes, and also they need minerals and whatever nutrients required for the food they get from it where they planted. That is the soil. Is it? So, that soil is also an important component for the plant to grow. And also, soil is very important for the agriculture, right? Why? Because crops are cultivated in the farm, that is, they sown in the soil, right? So, for agriculture, for the crops to be cultivated, it required soil. Okay, plants to make food, it require soil. So, student, plant is very important for each and every human being on the earth, right? So, today we are going to learn about the factors which are responsible for the soil formation. Okay, so let's start with the geographical explanation now. The parent rock, the climate of the region, the biotic material, the slope of the land, and time are factors that influence soil formation. Student, underline this paragraph: parent rock, climate of the region, second, biotic material, third, and slope of the land and time, fourth. So, these are the factors, 4 factors which influence soil formation. Now, see, student, factors which are responsible for the soil formations are parent rock, right? Climate, biotic material, and time. So, they are responsible for the formation of soil. So, we will be learning about these factors in our today's session one by one in detail, right? So, let's go ahead, children. First, we are having is parent rock. Let's see. Remember that the parent rock in a region is an important factor in soil formation. Depending on the hardness of the rock and the climate of the region, the rock gets weathered. The rock turns into powdery material, which further turns into earthy material. For example, the basalt rock of the Deccan Plateau in Maharashtra turns into black soil after weathering. This soil is also referred to as Ragur soil. Rocks like granite and gneiss in South India give rise to red soil. Now see the explanation of parent rock. Student, parent rock is an important factor in soil formation, right? Now, this rock gets weathered, powdered, depend on the hardness of the rock and the climate of the region, right? On which it depend hardness and climate of the region. So, whatever type of rock it is, whether it is a hard rock or a soft rock. So, after it is weathered, the rock gets formed into powdery material. Right, means break into smaller particles, which form further turns into earthy material. So there is lots of time consumed in this formation of soil. When it broken down into smaller and smaller particles because of climate, rainfall and the other component, it takes lots of time. When the rock is hard, it takes lots of time and less time when the rock is soft, right? So it depends upon the type of rock. So that is also an important factor. Now where we can see when the rock get disintegrating means student breaking of a parent rock, it is turn into, it break into smaller particles, right? One parent rock is there, right? And when this parent rock, student, it breaking into smaller and smaller particles, after that what happen? It turn into powdery material is formed, right? So in the Deccan Plateau, student, which is in the Maharashtra mainly, right? So this Deccan Plateau, student, it is mainly made up of basalt rock, okay? Western Plateau of Maharashtra, where you can see which type of rock? Basalt rock, which, student, after breaking turn into which soil? Black soil, right? After weathering, after breaking. When it gets disintegrated into smaller and smaller pieces, it turns into black soil. Which soil? Basalt rock. It gets turned into black soil after disintegrating, after breaking. Okay. Whereas, student, in South India, right, you will find red soil, right? Which soil you will find there? Red soil, which is formed due to the disintegration or weathering of the rock like granite or gneiss. Okay, so how, when we get this red soil, student? When this granite or gneiss rock, it's get disintegrated, it's get break into smaller parts, we get which soil? Red soil. So student, this soil which we see, student, in the agriculture, in the farm, this soil we get when these rocks get disintegrated, when these rocks get powdered, it's break into smaller and smaller particles, then only we get soil. So understood? First factor, parent rock. Okay. Now next we are having is second is regional climate. This is also an important factor influencing soil formation. Weathering of the rock is the first step in the process of soil formation. The process of weathering depends on the climate of the region. The climate decides the intensity of weathering. That is why one and the same type of rock give rise to different types of soil when the rock is exposed to different climates. In the dry climate of Deccan Plateau, weathering of basalt leads to the formation of black soil. Whereas in the humid climate of the western Sahyadris, the leaching of the same basalt leads to the formation of laterite soil. Now students, see the regional climate. Now one particular type of rock gets formed in a particular region, right? First, student, parent rock means first factor is weathering of a rock is the first step in the formation of soil. When soil started to form, its first step is weathering, means breaking, right? And the second step is climate. So student, particular type of rock we will get formed in a particular region only. Suppose it is formed in a region where temperature is high, so it will give rise to different type of soil. Okay, whereas same rock if it is there in a lower temperature. So, one and the same type of rock, student, give rise to different type of soil, right? एक टाइप का रॉक है, इफ इट इज कम इन कॉन्टैक्ट विद द डिफरेंट क्लाइमेट, स्टूडेंट, इट गिव राइज टू डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ सॉइल. ओके, when it exposed to different climate. So we already learned about the parent rock, right? So student, basalt rock in the dry climate of Deccan Plateau. Okay, Deccan Plateau का climate कैसा है? Dry climate है. And now here we see which rock? Basalt rock, right? In Deccan Plateau there is a basalt rock, right? So it give rise to black soil, right? Because of dry climate. But the same basalt rock, student, if it come in contact with the climate of the Western Sahyadri, okay, climate of which region? Western Sahyadri. The climate of Western Sahyadri is humid climate. Okay, कैसा climate है? Humid climate है. So students, same basalt rock अगर आप लोग वेस्टर्न सह्याद्री में देखोगे, जहाँ का क्लाइमेट कैसा है? ह्यूमिड है. It leads to the formation of lateritic soil. Understood? So we have seen basalt rock. If it is in Deccan Plateau, it turns into black soil, and same basalt rock, if it come in contact with the climate of Western Sahyadri, it's formed which type of soil? Lateritic soil. Understood? Climatic, regional climate. Okay. Now third factor we are having is biotic material. The weathering of rocks turn them into powdery material, but this powdery material is not soil. To turn such powdery material into soil, it is necessary that biotic material gets mixed into it. The biotic material comes from the decomposition of the remains of plants and animals in that region. The vegetal litters means, student, leaves, okay, dead leaves of the plants, roots of the plants, remains of animals, etc. get decomposed due to water. Microorganism and certain other organisms help decompose the dead remains of organic material. The biotic material thus produced get mixed into the soil and is called humus. Student, underline this line. What is humus? The biotic material produced get mixed into the soil and is called humus. If the proportion of humus in the soil is greater, the soil become more fertile. Now see what is a biotic material and how it helps in the formation of soil. Now when we see the disintegration of rock, student, it turns into powdery material, right? But student, this powdery material is not actually soil. Okay, this powdery material is not a soil, but it further disintegrate into some sort of process. Okay, some sort of process done on it, on which? On this powdery material. So what it is? What is that process? So what does this biotic material consist of, student? So this powdery material, student, when get mixed with the biotic material, student, biotic material means dead leaves, okay, dead roots, remains of dead animals, means animals which dead, okay, unki skeletons, okay. So remains of dead animals, these are the biotic material, student. Understood? So there is a process which has been done on it, some activity has been done on it. So decomposition is done by various organisms in all process, okay, which leads to the formation of soil. Okay, when all this biotic material it gets mixed in the soil. Decomposition has been done on it by the various microorganisms which helps to the formation of soil. So whatever the remains of dead leaves, it get mixed into the soil, and microorganism and other organism, it helps to decompose of the dead remains, and this mixture is called humus. Understood what is humus? See once again, humus means, student, whenever the dead leaves or the dead remains of dead animals, it get mixed into the soil, all the microorganism and other organism, it help to decompose the dead remains, and whatever the mixtures has been formed, that mixture, student, is called as humus. Understood, student? If the proportion of humus in the soil is greater, okay, the soil become more fertile. Understood? So the fertility of a soil, okay, depends upon the amount of humus present in the soil. More the humus, the soil become more fertile. Less amount of humus, the soil become less fertile. So the fertility of the soil, it depends upon the amount of humus present in the soil. Understood, student? Biotic material. Okay. Now fourth factor we are having is time. Let's see. Soil formation is a natural and slow process. It needs a very long period of time. To form a 2.5 thick layer of a topsoil, it takes thousands of years. From this, you may understand that soil are invaluable. In the region of high rainfall and higher temperature, the process of soil formation is faster. Comparatively, in regions of low temperature and low rainfall, soil formation takes more time. Now see, time. Student, we see soil, right? Many people, like during Diwali, forts are made, right? Have you seen the forts which are made during Diwali? So that forts, student, are made out of mud. They get whereby there is a soil degradation also. When, student, there is soil degradation is there because of lack of awareness in the science of humans. But student, when this soil is very precious to us, right? This soil is very precious to us. Yes. So if we don't value it, we are only to be in a loss, because the time take, okay, the time take to form this soil is not a short time, right? सॉइल बनने के लिए जो टाइम लगता है क्या है वो, इट्स नॉट अ शॉर्ट टाइम, बट इट टेक्स अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम, बिकॉज स्टूडेंट सॉइल फॉर्मेशन इज नेचुरली एंड स्लो प्रोसेस. ये कैसा प्रोसेस है? नेचुरली और स्लो प्रोसेस है, राइट? देयरफॉर स्टूडेंट, टू फॉर्म अ 2.5 थिक लेयर ऑफ टॉप सॉइल, ओके, एक 2.5 लेयर बनने के लिए सॉइल का कितना टाइम लगता है? 1000 ऑफ ईयर्स लगते हैं, तभी जाके एक 2.5 सेंटीमीटर की थिक लेयर फॉर्म होती है सॉइल की. अंडरस्टूड? एंड द टाइम टेक्स इज 1000 ऑफ ईयर्स. सो only that much thick layer of topsoil, student, to be formed it take 1000 of years, right? So such a long time it takes for the formation of soil. It also depend upon the climate as well. If it is a high rainfall and high temperature, the process of soil formation is faster. Now see student, when the soil start forming, if suppose the rainfall is high in a particular region and the temperature is also high, that soil formation is very faster. soil जो फॉर्म होता है उसका प्रोसेस कैसा होगा? फास्टर होगा, क्योंकि रेनफॉल ज़्यादा है और टेम्परेचर भी क्या है? हाई है. Whereas student, as the region where there is a low rainfall and low temperature, if suppose एक रीजन का टेम्परेचर भी लो है और वहाँ पे बारिश भी कैसी है, लो है, कम है, so at that time the soil formation is a slow process. Yes, so the formation of soil, it's also depend upon the time also, right? If there is a less rainfall, soil formation is a slow process. If a high rainfall and high temperature, soil formation is a faster. Understood? So student, these are the 4 factors which are necessary for soil formation. Soil form होने के लिए ये 4 factors बहुत ज़रूरी हैं. Which are they student? Parent rock, regional climate, biotic material and time. These are the 4 factors which are responsible for the formation of soil. Okay student, so I hope you have understood what we have learned today, right? We have learned about the 4 factors which are necessary that influence the formation of soil. Okay student, so in our next lecture we will be continuing with the second part of our same lesson, that is chapter number 7, soil. Till then student, go through the video once again and try to understand the first part which I have taught you now. Okay, so take care and thank you.